Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. In this video, we are looking at the MLB slate for Tuesday. We have 9 games on the main slate tonight, so let's go ahead and get into it. As always, if you enjoy the videos, appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out Twitter, the website, Prize Picks, down below in the description. And last night was a good day for baseball. Hit on cash games and tournaments on Draftkings. Fanduel hit just in cash. Missed my tournaments by a few points. Let's go ahead and get into this 9-gamer. So switch over to Fantasy Labs tools. First game up, we have the Orioles going up against the Brewers. The Brewers' offense has been very quiet. Not only has their offense been quiet, but their pitching hasn't been great. The first 2 starts, we saw Woodruff and Burns get absolutely lit up. They're going up against Spencer Watkins, a guy that is going to give up some hits, not really get you a lot of strikeouts. This lineup has not shown me anything that crazy to start, but they still have power in this lineup with Yelich and Renfroe and Tellez. So they're still going to come around. It's only been a couple of games for them. They're not one of my favorite stacks today unless you're looking at like Tellez as a one-off. Second game, looking at some of these big name hitters against these lefties, especially Stanton. We know how good he is against lefties if you play MLB DFS over the years. Like Stanton a bunch as a one-off, you can double or like do a mini stack of the Yankees bats with Stanton, Judge, and Donaldson, and throw in one of these other guys, righties. And then on the Blue Jay side, they also have like all a lineup full of righties. So Springer is always good against left-handed pitching. Teoscar mashes lefties. But Shea, Vlad, I mean, the entire like top 6 all has so much power against lefties. We have the Angels. Looks like Mike Trout will be back in the lineup today. He got scratched last night dealing with an illness, but said he was feeling better after the game, so I'm assuming he's going to be in the starting lineup going up against a lefty. Like Trout, Rendon has gone off to a quiet start this year, but he's good against lefties. Those would be 2 guys I'm looking at. We know that the Braves against a lefty, they were quiet yesterday, but Corbin did have a good start to the year in his first start, but still he's got to show me things before I start to believe in him. I'm looking at these Braves bats a bit with Albies and Marcell Ozuna especially, Riley, bottom of the order, like Duvall a lot at 41. Hopefully this game plays. I mean, 62% chance. I think he'll still manage to squeeze it in. There's some other games with some better weather with the wind blowing out a little bit, so I'm not too interested here. But Buxton, always a good one-off play against a lefty, mashes lefties, and he's gotten off to a great start this year. He showed off his stolen base upside last night. The Cardinals bats at home with the wind blowing out a little bit, 72 degrees. You can sign me up for these righties going up against Daniel Lynch. Goldschmidt mashes lefties. Arenado mashes lefties. Carlson's been good this year to start, and he's been a switch hitter, so he gets platoon advantage as well. Same thing with Tyler O'Neill. Those would be the 4 that I'm looking to stack up. The Rangers, probably the top stack today, going up against Chad Cole at home, wind blowing out. Brad Miller, leadoff hitter, great value at 34. Continues to just hit home runs wherever he goes. I like Seager. 5K is expensive, but this stack, pretty easy to get to him if you go with the cheap pitcher, which we'll get to. And then we're looking at these Astros against Bumgarner. Bumgarner is not much of a strikeout guy anymore. Gives up power, gives up home runs to righties. Pena, Altuve, Bregman, Gurriel, Diaz, they are the best guys to target. And then last game, you can probably get both of your pitchers from. None of these other games have team totals below 4 besides the last game where you have both team totals below 4. And you have 2 offenses that have some power, but the Padres offense still has a big hole in it until Tatis is back. The Giants offense is still not that scary. So I'm looking at both pitchers in this one. Cobb, where his fastball was getting well over like 94, 95, even 96 miles per hour. So going back to DraftKings, first guy I'm going to plug in is Yu Darvish at 10-1, just because going up against the Giants, great ballpark to pitch in, cold temperature, ball won't carry much. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in the same guy on the other team, Alex Cobb. We saw him hit 97 miles per hour this spring. He was good with the Angels last year. He was getting crushed in Baltimore before he signed with the Angels a couple years ago, and now he's with the Giants. Still not a great strikeout pitcher, but if he's throwing 97 miles per hour, I'm sure that will increase his numbers a bit. And then stacking wise, the Rangers look great to me. The Braves look good. A couple of these Yankees, targeting them against a lefty, something I'm okay with. I like the Cardinals a lot as well. The Astros, those are the main teams I'm looking at. First base guy I'm going to plug in here is all the way at the top end here. Plug in Paul Goldschmidt, 55. He's gotten off to a pretty good start. Doesn't have a home run yet. I think that can change today. Has hits in each of the first 3 games, and he's going up against a lefty, and we know Goldie is great against lefties. His career numbers, 322 average. His average is almost 40 points higher. The home runs, the power numbers are also a lot higher. 273 ISO compared to 214 ISO, almost a 600 slugging. If we look at his numbers just from last year, 2021, he batted 350 in 123 at-bats with 8 bombs, and the strikeouts against lefties, similar to righties, but the power is just 100 points higher in the ISO. Slugging almost 200 points higher. A lot to like with Paul Goldschmidt potentially getting his first home run of the season today. Second base, I like Semien as your pay up here. He's gotten off to a cold start so far. He's just 2 of 18. Only, hasn't really hit the ball hard. Only 4 strikeouts, so he's still making some contact. He's expensive, but definitely looking at the Rangers stack today. Other options for us would be Ozzie Albies going up against a lefty once again. We have maybe Whit Merrifield. He's also gone off to a cold start. Over at third base, don't mind paying up for Arenado as well. He's also great against left-handed pitching. He's also gone off to a great start, and this offense has been putting up some good numbers. KC doesn't have a great bullpen, so you can definitely sign me up for Arenado. Pay up for him. We have Riley going up against a lefty. Think he looks like a good option if you wanted to target him. And then if you're looking at the Astros, you have Pena, $2,200, and you also have Diaz, just some value at 30. It's like 32 or 3,300 probably. Aledmys Diaz, $3,400. Also Bregman if you wanted to pay up for him. Also good against lefties. But I'm going Pena at $2,200. Just a hitter that's gone off to a great start. Wouldn't be surprised if he bats like in the second hole today. Even if he bats at the bottom of the order, the value is just really good on him. Only has 2 games with 3 hits already in his first 3 full. Well, he did play a little bit against the Angels, but just really been making good contact with the ball. Gives you power, 3 extra base hits, and $2,200. You can't really beat that price tag. In the outfield, first guy I'll plug in is a value piece, and that's Brad Miller. Leading off for this Rangers team, they get the pleasure of having the highest total on the slate. Brad Miller maybe should have stuck with the Phillies. I don't know why he has the Cardinals logo. His most recent team was the Phillies, if I'm not mistaken, but continues to do damage wherever he goes. Going up against a righty, lefty-righty matchup, potentially getting 5 at-bats here. Probably sat yesterday against the lefty. And then the last piece, plug in, you got a number of options. You can plug in Stanton if you wanted to. He's 49, going up against a lefty. Or you can plug in Marcell Ozuna, 38, against a lefty. Corbin. Ozuna's made contact, 6 hits, a couple doubles. Also another guy that's yet to get his first home run. We know he missed a lot of time last year dealing with stuff off the field. I think it was supposed to be the whole year. But now that he's back, probably getting back up to speed. That price tag is really affordable. He's also good against lefties. So that's it for DraftKings. Let's talk about FanDuel. All right, over on FanDuel, same type of deal. I'm looking to target pitcher. You have Yu Darvish all the way at the top end at 97. And you got a bunch of guys in between 2K of him. I don't mind going back to Alex Cobb at 76. Save some money, pay out for some more bats. And at the bottom of the pricing, maybe you have like guys you can take shots with in tournaments, but nobody that I feel great about. So I'm just going to go with Cobb, sub 4 run total for the Padres. First base, I like Paul Goldschmidt. Great numbers against lefties. You can go all the way up if you wanted to for Vlad. Got some decent value here. Lots of options because you also have all these catchers thrown in here, but I like Mitch Garver, 3K. We have his teammate, Nate Lau, 26. Brad Miller, who I plugged in the outfield, at only 27. Over at second base, Albies is your most expensive guy. Makes sense. Albies, Altuve, Semien. Those are my favorites. Other options are Edman at his price tag. And then if you needed to go to a value piece, you have Aledmys Diaz, 23. Should be in the lineup against a lefty. Third base, Arenado, Bregman, Riley are my favorites in terms of paying up. You have maybe Donaldson. He's gone off to a cold start. But Donaldson, Rendon as guys that do get the matchup advantage going up against lefties. Guys you can look to, Bobby Witt Jr. going up against Hudson, just a guy with so much power and so much upside. Shortstop, I plugged in Pena just because he's super cheap, and I think he'll probably bat at near the top of the order, depending on what type of lineup they run out there. But against lefty-righty matchup for him, great on both sides with the price tag. If you're looking to play up for Bo Bichette or Simeon. Those are the two top ones. Mid-range, you have Seager, who I think you can plug in also in the utility. That's a good option. That's shortstop. So not surprised if you want to use one of them in your utility spot. And then outfield, I plugged in Brad Miller. I plugged in Mike Trout as well at 41. Think he'll be in the lineup. Gets a matchup against a lefty, so not looking at Ohtani as much. I'm not really looking at Walsh as much. Give me a Trout to get a piece of the Angels' offense. Other options to pay up for are definitely Stanton, Buxton, just with all the upside that he gives you. Tyler O'Neill, if you're looking to stack up the Cardinals, you have Carlson there as well. And then you got a bunch of value from the Braves. Duvall at only 29, Ozuna at 29, and a bunch of other guys that might be looking appealing depending on where they're hitting in the batting order. But that's about it for the video. Best of luck tonight, starting in a couple of hours. Wanted to come on here and make the video quickly for you guys, and I will see you all next time.